do not move to Sahuarita, Arizona until you watch this video. We're going to share with you some of the great things about Sahuarita, Arizona, as well as some of the things that are going to drive you crazy that most people don't find out until after they move here. Let's get to it. If you're new to this channel and want to learn everything from A to Z about living in Tucson, AZ, then click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Dustin Smith. My wife Jennifer and I have helped hundreds of people just like you move to and from Tucson, Arizona. So whether you're planning on moving in 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 months, we got you covered. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email so we can help you make that smooth move to Tucson. Now, if you're watching this video and you have no idea where Sahuarita, Arizona is, but you're still kind of interested, well, just to give you a quick idea of where Sahuarita, Arizona is, it is a city south of Tucson, and it is an incorporated city out here. So they have their own police, their own municipality, their own like city council and everything that goes with that. And it is a very fast growing suburb of Tucson, Arizona, between Tucson and Nogales, and the main road coming in here is going to be Highway 19. So overall, it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get to downtown Tucson from Sahuarita. Now that you know a little bit about where Sahuarita, Arizona is, let's get right into some of the things that, some of the drawbacks of living out here. So normally we talk about the pros first, but I thought it might be fun to kind of change things up and get the scary stuff, you know, right in front of you, right off the bat. So for the first con I picked up, it's actually just how fast it is to grow out here. So things are always changing all the time. So if you have a nice, you know, desert area near your home, there's potential that they're going to clear that out and start building houses soon, or a new retail center, you know, whatever it is. There's just a lot of potential for most of the desert land out here to be cleared for some other use than, you know, walking your dog or going out and enjoying that extra space. All right, con number two, and depending on how you look at this, this could actually be, you know, beneficial in the long run. But for a lot of people, they're kind of up in ends about this, is that there is potential for a new interstate that cuts out here by Sahuarita and bypasses Tucson. So that's another one of those things where, you know, the desert could clear out in a certain section and just drastically change the way Sahuarita is seen. I mean, it could just be that town right before you get to Tucson, and a nice little cutoff to actually just skip Tucson all the way between Nogales and like Phoenix or going out west towards California. So yeah, I put that as kind of a drawback, but a lot of people are going to see that as a pro as well too, because that just could, you know, really increase the demand out here for people who, you know, want to live, and their accessibility to just get out of Sahuarita a different direction and kind of alleviate some of the roads that are currently being used between here and Tucson. All right, con number three. I kind of picked out this one just, you know, because, you know, different people have different needs here. So this might not even be a con for you at all. Further away from different types of shopping. So I mentioned that, you know, it's about like 20-25 minutes to downtown Tucson, and there's definitely some shopping options right there. But if you're looking for like a mall or something, you might need to go a little bit further. Now, there is some shopping in South Tucson, and South Tucson is really growing, you know, quite quickly as well. So you do have a lot of options over in that direction, but, you know, it's always hopping in your car and driving like 20 minutes to get to that kind of stuff, or a little bit further, you know, depending if you got friends in a certain area of Tucson or Marana or Vail, you know, to get up and go join them at somewhere that's a little more central to you guys, or a little bit more on their side of town. Or, you know, if you have, you know, a certain doctor or certain specialist that you need to go visit and you have to go to Tucson for that, you know, you're further away from that if you live out here in Sahuarita or really any of the Tucson suburbs. But, you know, I'm told by a lot of people that move to Tucson when we complain about traffic, it's like a joke to a lot of you guys. I mean, some of you guys are talking about trying to go 20 miles and it could take you, you know, upwards of a couple hours to do that. Here, that's definitely a rare thing, and people will gripe about that. So I guess we're just really lucky when it comes to all of that. When we get upset about the roads, it's nothing like what some of you guys deal with out there, and, you know, I understand that. All right, con number 4. Just fewer restaurant options out here. Now, a lot of people will talk about some of their favorite restaurants in Tucson. And a lot of the ones that you see are going to be further away from Sahuarita. They're not going to be ones that you visit, regularly, unless you, really end up having to go to Tucson all the time, or, you just enjoy traveling to go to different places and eat. But out here, there is actually a few restaurant options. There's more and more like franchise or chain restaurants popping up all the time. McDonald's, Dunkin', Panda Express, Arby's. So like a lot of your, regular ones are out here and more all the time. But you've also got, a couple local favorites around here. If you're looking for a good slice of pizza, you've got Two Girls Pizza, which is closer to like the Green Valley side of things. And Green Valley and Sahuarita kind of do intertwine. So it'll feel like you're not really having to leave town, jumping over to different parts of Green Valley. And then if you want some good Mexican food, which is, actually really good, you don't have to leave Sahuarita for that either. But I mean, there's so many great Mexican restaurants in Tucson, so it's not like this will be your only destination. But Manuel's has a great reputation for the Sahuarita area and would definitely be worth taking a visit to if you're thinking about moving to Sahuarita. So yeah, I put cons, as fewer restaurant options, just because there's so many great restaurants in the Tucson area, and you're gonna have to drive a little bit further to get to those. All right, con number 5 I put on here is I-19. Now, I-19 really itself isn't all that bad. So that's that major interstate that runs between Sahuarita and Tucson, or actually it starts in Tucson near the downtown area and goes all the way down to Nogales. And fun fact about I-19, it's actually the only interstate in the United States that actually uses kilometers instead of miles. So you see the kilometer post instead of mile post on the side, and your exits being numbered according to those kilometer posts as well too. So definitely a little bit fun right there. But as you get closer to the downtown Tucson, where that merges onto I-10 and splits off into some of the other roads right there at the end, that area can get kind of crazy. So you might be used to it taking you 20-25 minutes, but if there's construction, which there's construction all the time, or there's an accident, you could see your time significantly increase, and that could be a real pain in the butt if you have appointments out there. So I definitely put that as a con. Now, there are other roads to get you out to the Tucson area. If you're going to, especially more of like the East Tucson or Central Tucson route, you could head the other way to Sahuarita Road, up Wilmot towards Tucson, or Houghton further down from Corona to Tucson area, up to like the Rita Ranch and Vale area out there as well. So definitely you're not cornered. You don't have to use I-19 in most cases, but it's definitely going to be a major route for you. And yeah, con number 6, you throw this on a lot of con videos, and especially on a day like today where I am seeking refuge in the shade. It's hot, right? Yeah, all of Tucson's definitely hot. We're triple digit temperatures right there. I decided to film this video right next to a lake and in the shade, as just kind of a little way to give you a good background, and for me to escape the heat without having to sit in the home office too. Love a good background for you guys. So definitely put that in there. And going into my final con right here, the last thing is, when a lot of people think of Sahuarita, they think of Rancho Sahuarita, and Rancho Sahuarita has these beautiful like clubhouses, fitness center, like parks, but not all of Sahuarita is Rancho Sahuarita. Rancho Sahuarita is actually a master plan community within the town of Sahuarita. So if you've been watching stuff or doing a little bit of research and you're like, oh, there's this beautiful water park there, which is actually right next to the lake that I'm hanging out. There's a bunch of people using that park right now. Water slides, lap pool, huge beautiful pool over there. You can hear the lifeguard blow the whistle constantly too, telling those kids to be careful over there. That is actually an exclusive water park though, exclusive clubhouse to residents of Rancho Sahuarita and their guests. So if you live in Rancho Sahuarita and you want to send your guests up there, you do have to register them ahead of time, and I think you have to go up there the first time with them and actually sign them in. But it is possible to send your guests up there too. So yeah, that's it with the drawbacks that I came up with today. If you got any extra drawbacks, throw them in the comments, or give us a call and tell us when you're talking to us about your potential move to Tucson. All right, now that I've told you everything negative about Sahuarita, you're probably wondering why on earth you would want to move here. So let's get into some of the great reasons why people move to Sahuarita and why they love being out here in Sahuarita. So number one thing that I put for the pros is that you are outside of the city. Now, we talk to a lot of people all the time that don't want to be in the city. Like, they want to be able to go to Tucson, enjoy some of the offerings of Tucson, but it's not where they want to live, and a lot of people do think the same thing of the suburbs around Tucson. Like, they think of them as Tucson. So you're definitely outside of the city right here, even though it's its own town. There's no high rises out here. There's not like a lot of traffic lights. There's one major road running through Sahuarita, and then, like a network of other roads. So Sahuarita Road and I-19 are really your major, access points out here. Definitely does not feel like you're living in big city. All right, speaking of being outside of the city, something that the town of Sahuarita really prides itself on, so not just Rancho Sahuarita, but the town of Sahuarita in general, has a very clean appearance to it. So they do a great job out here keeping the roads clean, keeping like common areas cleaned up, especially within Rancho Sahuarita. There's a lot of like parks and jogging trails, and the Rancho Sahuarita community does a great job at keeping the grass mowed, the trees trimmed, the trash picked up, and of course there's the homeowners association too. So you even have like great landscaping going through all of the neighborhoods here. And it's really neat. Like, some of the roads coming in right here are just lined with tons and tons of saguaros right along the roadside. So as they built homes here, they actually had to move all the saguaros. You can't just knock them down. Saguaros are actually protected. You have to get a permit just to move them. So, they found a great use, just a great entrance into Rancho Sahuarita with this street that's lined with saguaros. Definitely, very pretty. Pro number 3, I decided on this one. This is still important to a lot of people moving out here. So, nearby employers. So there's actually some good employers right by or not too far away from the Sahuarita community. So along Sahuarita is actually a large copper mine, which brings a lot of employment into the area. I mentioned it's not too far away from Tucson. So even if you gotta, commute to Tucson for work, it's not a terrible drive. A lot of people do that. You have a Raytheon site that's 15 to 20 minutes away. You have a correctional facility. A lot of people over here also work for, Border Patrol too. So those are all like major employers in the area, and then access to like everything in the Tucson area. So overall, there's a good amount of opportunities living out in the Sahuarita area. All right, so I kind of mentioned this as a negative, but there are pro sides to this too. So the growing community out here. There's so much going on in Sahuarita. There's new construction out here. In fact, Rancho Sahuarita itself is just been growing so fast. They had claimed to be the fastest growing master plan community in Arizona, and that was pretty easy to see. This great big clubhouse that they have over here with their own fitness center. They're actually building a whole new clubhouse with a fitness center and amenities on the other side of Sahuarita Road, where they have a ton of new construction options going on over there too. So that is awesome. If they build that highway in, more opportunities coming from that. Definitely new retailers, new restaurants, all these different things popping up all the time. There's a good chance that over time that's actually going to bring up home values. So if you bought a home in here, sooner rather than later, and you plan on staying for a while, there's a good chance you're going to get some equity out of that home down the road. All right, pro number 5 I put on here is that this is an all ages community. And I wanted to note that because of how intertwined Sahuarita and Green Valley are. Green Valley is like 80% age restricted, and Rancho Sahuarita, being like the most popular master plan community in Sahuarita, is actually an all ages community, but there are 55 and over options within here. There's actually a Del Webb community in here that's restricted to 55 and over. So, if you want that, quiet, age restricted neighborhood, that is still a potential right here within Rancho Sahuarita. But, just a jump over to Green Valley, you have 80% age restrictions. So a lot of people kind of think, hey, if you move out here, you've got to be older. That's not the case for Rancho Sahuarita, not the case for Sahuarita in general. So, lots of options, lots of amenities. I mean, as far as the amenities offered by Rancho Sahuarita, there is not another community in the Tucson area that has so many amenities for all ages. And if there's something out there that I'm missing, tell me about it, because I just don't think so. And for the price too, like you're seeing HOA fees of like 135 or so a month, and I mean that covers your access to all the parks, the pools, the water park, the fitness center. I mean, basically like a gym membership is part of that. Their fitness center is top notch in Rancho Sahuarita. So sorry to go off on that for a little bit, because I know if you're looking at Sahuarita in general and not Rancho Sahuarita, that fitness center means nothing to you. So yeah, there you go for that pro. All right, pro number 6 I put here is more home for your money. Now, a lot of people thinking about moving out to Sahuarita might have found that there's just homes out here that fit in their budget. And then they find out that you get all these extra amenities if you're going into the Rancho Sahuarita area as well. So yeah, this is not a very expensive neighborhood to move into relative to some of the suburbs around the Tucson area. Now, it's going to be, comparable or even more affordable than some areas of Vail or Oro Valley. So some people feel like they're making a concession by moving out here, and they find out everything that it has to offer, and they try to recruit their friends from back home across the country as to what a beautiful community is. I've brought many people out to Sahuarita and Rancho Sahuarita and showed them around here that just have fallen in love with the place and have said, this is where I want to live. So definitely gonna put that as a major pro for this. Now, pro number 6, I probably could have tied this in with my next pro, but I just wanted to bring up Sahuarita Lake right here. Now, this is just an absolutely gorgeous lake right here, stocked with fish by Arizona Game and Fish. So you can go fishing out here if you have a hunting license. There's people that bring little like canoes and kayaks. You're allowed to do that on the lake as well. Probably not going to see anyone right now just because it's so hot, and this is like normal working hours right now too. But they have these beautiful trees going along the lake. They have areas of grass. They have public restrooms out here, and Sahuarita Lake is not just for Rancho Sahuarita too. This is open to the public, and probably hard to see in this, but the lake actually goes quite a bit out there. The full circle, if you're walking or jogging around this lake, it's actually almost a full mile. It's like 0.97 miles. I actually put on like Strava, the running tracker, and did a lap around this one day. And just as I hit to where I started, it was like 0.97 or 0.98 for one lap around this. So just so I've been filming this video, I'm standing to the side of the sidewalk. I've had a few joggers run past me, or maybe it was the same jogger 3 times. Just wasn't paying that close attention. But yeah, great opportunity, great scene, great change of pace with some shade from from the rest of the Sonoran Desert. Just feels like a different world out here, an oasis basically. All right, like I mentioned, I probably could have tied Sahuarita Lake into this last one, but for pro number 8 right here, I actually went with just the opportunity for outdoor activities right here. So the Sahuarita area is actually, very close, or even part of Sahuarita is like the access point into Madera Canyon. So Madera Canyon as, national forest. It's a great place for birding, for hiking, exploring. In fact, like the tallest peak in Tucson is actually going to be accessed off Madera Canyon Road. So going up to Mount Wrightson or Mount Baldy, beautiful, just peak on the mountain. If you make it up there, you actually have 360-degree views from that mountaintop, looking at, the complete picture of Tucson, all the way up to the Catalina. It's just right over the top of Sahuarita. So, definitely, beautiful right on its own right there. You're also a little bit closer to like Patagonia Lake. So Patagonia Lake's probably a half an hour away from here. Most of the time people in Tucson, we tell them about an hour to get up to Patagonia, just shy of an hour, but a little bit of a head start. So if Sahuarita Lake's not enough for you and you want to go over to Patagonia Lake, that one's beautiful. That one actually has campsites, RV hookups. You can actually, put like a boat with a gas motor on that one and zoom around a little bit. Now, a lot of it's no wake zones, and they do restrict like tubing and jet skis and stuff as well. So you got to be skiing. So you got to really plan accordingly to that. But I do believe that they allow like tubing and skiing during the week, just not on weekends or holidays. So yeah, outdoor activity, a major bonus for the Sahuarita area. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned something or found it useful. If you did like it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Tucson, Arizona. And if you or someone you know is thinking about moving to or from Tucson or Sahuarita, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email so we can be the ones to help you make that smooth move. And as always, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.